Let's begin with Chapter 1. Here's the summary. Lycoris Recoil, Friends Are Thieves of Time. Chapter 1. Summary. Presented by Everything in One. In a world where peace is maintained in the shadows, an elite group of young girls known as Lycoris work under a covert government program to neutralize threats before they emerge. These agents blend into society, appearing as ordinary schoolgirls while executing their missions with precision and deadly efficiency. Among them is Takina Ino, a cool, disciplined Lycoris whose loyalty to the mission and results is unshakable. Chapter 1 opens with a high-stakes mission where Takina and her team are cornered during a hostage situation. Despite orders to fall back and wait for support, Takina takes the initiative and opens fire, risking civilian lives. Her decision, while successful in eliminating the threat, leads to consequences. She's removed from her frontline post at headquarters and transferred to a smaller, offbeat Lycoris branch known as Cafe Lycoris. Enter Chisato Nishikigi, the branch's cheerful yet enigmatic top agent. Known for her unorthodox style and pacifist approach, Chisato couldn't be more different from the rigid Takina. She believes in resolving conflict without killing, favoring rubber bullets and disarming enemies with agility and charm. Her sunny personality masks an incredibly sharp skill set, and Takina is immediately both annoyed and intrigued by her new partner's bizarre methods. As Takina adjusts to the more relaxed environment of the cafe, she struggles with her reassignment. She's determined to return to her former team and prove her worth. But Chisato begins challenging Takina's perspective, subtly showing her that protecting lives doesn't always mean following orders or using violence. Their first mission together as partners involves stopping a minor threat, a pickpocket with ties to a larger crime ring. Takina, with her typical directness, wants to eliminate the problem quickly. Chisato, however, handles the situation with finesse, using misdirection, kindness, and a surprising amount of wit to de-escalate things peacefully. By the end of the chapter, a tense but playful chemistry starts to build between the two. Chisato seems to be peeling back the emotional armor Takina has built over the years, while Takina starts to sense that there may be more value in Chisato's approach than she first assumed. Chapter 1 sets the stage for a story that blends action, emotional growth, and mystery. It hints at deeper secrets within the Lycoris organization and teases the complex relationship between Chisato and Takina that will be central to the narrative. The chapter ends with Takina watching Chisato with quiet curiosity, unknowingly stepping into a new chapter of her life that will change everything she thought she knew. Let me know if you'd like Chapter 2 unbranding. Lycoris Recoil, Friends Are Thieves of Time. Chapter 2 Summary. Presented by Everything in One. Following her unexpected transfer to Cafe Lycoris, Takina Inoue finds herself still uneasy. She's haunted by the fallout from her last mission and is driven by one goal: returning to DA, Direct Attack, the elite core of Lycoris operatives. However, working under the carefree and unconventional Chisato Nishikigi is proving more challenging than expected. Chapter 2 focuses on Takina's adjustment period. She's trying to fit in at the cafe, but the casual attitude and quirky behavior of her coworkers, including the sarcastic Mika, the quiet hacker Kurumi, and the youthful Mizuki, leave her bewildered. Everyone treats their cafe cover identity like a real job, serving customers, decorating desserts, and even worrying about online reviews. Takina can't understand why these top-level agents are acting like baristas. Her frustration reaches a boiling point when Chisato ropes her into a delivery mission that seems more like a joke than actual fieldwork. But that mission turns out to be more than it appears. Their target is a supposedly reformed arms dealer who has started dabbling in small-time smuggling. Chisato suspects the man has returned to his old ways, and she wants to handle it peacefully if possible. Takina, of course, wants to go in fast and hard, but Chisato insists on shadowing the target first, observing patterns, and gathering intel. During their surveillance, we see Chisato's incredible perception at work. She notices small behavioral cues, tracks body language, and even communicates with Takina using subtle signals. Takina is surprised by how efficient Chisato is without ever lifting a weapon. They eventually confront the dealer, who panics and pulls a gun. Chisato dodges gracefully, de-escalates the situation, and disables the weapon, all without firing a single shot. This leaves Takina stunned. She realizes Chisato isn't just pacifistic, she's incredibly skilled, possibly more so than anyone Takina's worked with before. Back at the cafe, Chisato tells Takina that not every mission needs bloodshed, and that saving lives is a higher goal than blindly following DA protocols. She explains that rules can be necessary, but sometimes what's right lies outside of them. Takina isn't fully convinced yet, but a seed of doubt begins to sprout in her heart. The chapter ends with Takina secretly rewatching footage of Chisato in action, analyzing her moves with a mix of admiration and confusion. She may not agree with her yet, but she's beginning to respect her. And that marks a turning point. Are Thieves of Time, Chapter 3 Summary. Presented by Everything in One. Chapter 3 kicks off with Takina continuing to grapple with her demotion and new environment at Cafe Lycoris Recoil. She's still focused on proving herself so she can return to DA. And while she's warming up to Chisato's quirky nature, there's still tension simmering between their vastly different ideologies. The chapter introduces a new conflict, a string of recent tech-related crimes involving illegal drones operating in restricted airspace around Tokyo. The DA suspects these drones are being used to scout targets for future attacks or smuggling operations. Takina sees this as a perfect opportunity to prove her usefulness, and she's eager to dive into the investigation. However, her approach once again clashes with Chisato's laid-back style. Chisato insists they handle the case methodically, and with a touch of style. Instead of storming into the investigation, she takes Takina to a drone expo under the guise of field research. The expo, packed with hobbyists and tech enthusiasts, is both colorful and chaotic. Chisato blends right in, treating the entire mission like a day out. Takina, on the other hand, is tense and annoyed. She believes they're wasting time, until Chisato subtly points out a suspicious vendor whose drones aren't transmitting the standard radio frequencies. Their quiet surveillance reveals that this vendor is selling drones with cloaking software, allowing them to bypass airspace restrictions. The buyer? An underground organization with ties to past Lycoris targets. They tail one of the clients to a secluded drop point. As the two follow the suspect, Takina is ready to apprehend him, but Chisato again chooses patience, wanting to uncover the broader network behind the operation. The plan works. They witness a clandestine handoff involving more advanced weaponized drones. A chase breaks out, with the suspects trying to flee and launch a drone strike to cover their escape. Takina goes in hot, using her firearm with extreme precision. But the real highlight is Chisato, who single-handedly disables a drone mid-flight using a combination of parkour, distraction, and non-lethal projectiles. She does it all with a smile on her face, as if it's just another game. In the aftermath, Takina is frustrated. She wanted to make arrests, but most of the suspects escaped. Chisato, however, explains they've gathered enough intel to pass on to DA. And more importantly, they've prevented an imminent attack. This once again frustrates Takina, who sees results as arrests and missions completed by the book. Chisato challenges her view again, emphasizing that success isn't always visible. It's about the people who were unknowingly protected. The final pages show Takina sitting alone after closing hours, looking through her DA-issued tablet. A message pops up. No reinstatement yet. She closes it slowly, staring at the cheerful Cafe Lycoris Recoil logo and the quiet cafe behind her. For the first time, she seems unsure if going back is the only thing she wants. Ready for Chapter 4? I can keep this. As Chapter 4 begins, the atmosphere at Cafe Lycoris Recoil is unusually quiet. After the drone incident, the team has been advised to lay low and focus on routine activities. While the cafe staff busily prepares for a special event, a neighborhood festival, Takina remains distant, still obsessed with proving her value and getting back to DA. But Chisato has other plans for the day. Chisato surprises Takina by dragging her into helping with the cafe's booth for the festival. Despite her protests, Takina gets roped into dressing up and helping with a fortune shooting game where customers shoot rubber darts to win prizes and fortunes. It's whimsical, it's colorful, and it feels completely at odds with the world Takina comes from. While Takina sees this as a waste of time, Chisato takes it seriously in her own playful way. She tells Takina that being a Lycoris isn't just about shooting or chasing suspects, it's about creating peace. And sometimes that means being part of the community. Chisato believes their cafe cover is more than just a disguise. It's their way of genuinely connecting with people and offering protection without them ever realizing it. The chapter takes a turn when a suspicious group appears at the festival. Chisato instantly picks up on something unusual. Too many eyes scanning the area, and one of the food vendors is wearing a uniform from a closed-down shop. She discreetly signals to Takina, and the two begin a quiet investigation. They follow the suspects, piecing together that a robbery is being planned, not of the festival, but of a nearby private courier service transporting high-value items. The culprits plan to use the festival as a distraction. Chisato and Takina spring into action. Unlike their previous outings, there's a notable shift in their teamwork. Chisato still prefers her acrobatic, non-lethal methods, while Takina remains precise and sharp. But this time, they begin syncing up. Chisato dodging bullets and disarming targets, while Takina provides backup with calm, efficient cover fire. Together, they thwart the heist without drawing too much public attention. It's another quiet success, the kind that never makes headlines, but keeps people safe all the same. Afterward, as the festival fireworks light up the sky, Takina sits beside Chisato, watching the colors reflect in her eyes. For a moment, the weight of her mission and her past is lifted. Chisato, always the optimist, tells her, "You smiled more today than you have since you got here. That's progress." Takina doesn't deny it. The chapter ends with Takina looking at a group of children laughing and playing at the cafe's booth. For the first time, she wonders if protecting peace might look a little different than she thought, and if maybe, just maybe, Cafe Lycoris isn't a punishment, but a new kind of beginning. Want me to continue with Chapter 5? Chapter 5 opens on a rare quiet morning at Cafe Lycoris, with the team enjoying a moment of calm. Takina is becoming more integrated into the daily life of the cafe, though she still carries the edge of a soldier. She's more observant now, not just of Chisato's antics, but of the subtle ways the cafe connects with its community. But peace, as always, is short-lived. Kurumi, the cafe's resident hacker and data wizard, intercepts a digital signal flagged by the DA's surveillance system. A signal from a supposedly defunct terrorist network known as Walnut, a name familiar to the Lycoris. While most believed Walnut was taken down months ago, the new activity suggests a reformation, or worse, an impersonation. Takina is instantly alert. Any resurgence of Walnut means high-level danger. Chisato, however, reacts with an odd glint of recognition in her eyes. When pressed, she reveals a secret. Kurumi used to operate under the codename Walnut before faking her death to escape the criminal world. Someone is now using the name and claiming to be her. Kurumi is rattled. If her old enemies find out she's alive, they might come for her, and Cafe Lycoris could be in danger. The group decides to investigate before the situation explodes. Chisato and Takina set out to track the source of the signal. Their journey leads them deep into the digital underworld, sifting through black market forums, secret data servers, and shady underground bars that cater to cybercriminals. While the physical action in this chapter is minimal, the tension is high. The mystery of the new Walnut builds with every step. Takina and Chisato eventually trace the broadcast to an abandoned warehouse wired with surveillance traps. As they enter, they're ambushed, not with bullets, but with data. Monitors around them light up with messages calling out Kurumi by name, threatening to expose her past and her current location. It's psychological warfare, and Chisato handles it with her usual flair. She uses the environment to reverse track the hacker's connection and successfully locks onto their physical location, an old data tower in the industrial zone. As the chapter closes, Chisato and Takina prepare to confront the impersonator, but they also realize something deeper. Someone with intricate knowledge of the Lycoris system is involved. This isn't just a personal threat to Kurumi, it's a broader scheme that could endanger the entire organization. Chisato turns to Takina and says with a rare seriousness, "We're not just protecting our cafe anymore. We're protecting everything that keeps this city from falling apart." Takina nods. For the Lycoris Recoil, Friends Are Thieves of Time, Chapter 6 Summary, presented by Everything in One. Chapter 6 picks up right where the previous one left off. Chisato and Takina are en route to a remote data tower where the false walnut is believed to be operating from. The tension is high. This is no longer a simple cafe cover operation. They're diving into a full-blown cyber espionage war zone, and the target knows they're coming. Kurumi, back at Cafe Lycoris, is pacing anxiously. For the first time, the usually cheeky hacker seems genuinely afraid. Her past life is threatening to catch up with her, and the guilt of putting the cafe and her friends in danger weighs heavily. Still, she provides real-time navigation and hacking support, guiding Chisato and Takina through the enemy's digital traps as they approach the tower. Once inside, the duo is greeted by eerie silence. No guards, no alarms, just rows of old servers blinking in the darkness. But Chisato immediately senses it's a setup. Surveillance cameras follow their every move, and data screens begin flashing taunting messages. "You're too late, Walnut." Suddenly, the building locks down. Gas vents hiss. It's a kill trap. Chisato acts fast, shooting out the vents and disabling the trap before the gas fills the room. Takina covers her, analyzing the control panel and locating the tower's central server. They split up, executing a synchronized plan. Chisato will confront the source directly, while Takina uploads a virus created by Kurumi to shut the system down. What follows is a split action sequence. Chisato dodges automated defense turrets in the control core, her signature agility and precision on full display. Meanwhile, Takina races against time through a puzzle-like maze of locked server rooms, outwitting electronic defenses and decoding barriers with Kurumi's help. In the final showdown, Chisato corners the impersonator, who isn't just some random hacker, but a former DA technician who once worked on Lycoris intel systems. Bitter, exiled, and bent on revenge, he used Kurumi's old identity to lure her and the Cafe team into a trap, aiming to dismantle DA by exposing its vulnerabilities. Chisato, despite having every chance to take him down with force, disarms and subdues him without a single bullet fired. She gives him a choice: live in shame or walk away quietly, knowing he was beaten by someone who never needed to kill. Back at the cafe, the team debriefs. Kurumi is relieved but shaken and finally opens up about why she became Walnut in the first place. She wasn't just a hacker. She was once hunted by the same kind of organizations she now works to protect others from. Takina listens, quietly absorbing it all. This case wasn't just about stopping a threat. It was about confronting ghosts and letting go of the past. For Kurumi, for Chisato, and maybe, slowly, for herself too. The chapter closes with Chisato giving Takina a rare compliment. "You've got more heart than most people I know with perfect aim." Takina doesn't smile. Lycoris Recoil Friends Are Thieves of Time, Chapter 7 Summary. Presented by Everything in One. Chapter 7 shifts focus from high-stakes missions back to something more personal: emotions. But don't be fooled by the calm. Underneath the soft cafe lighting and daily smiles, tension simmers quietly, especially between Takina and Chisato. The chapter opens with a surprise visitor, a former Lycoris agent named Fuki, who used to work closely with Takina at DA. Her presence throws Takina off. Fuki isn't here on official business. She's just visiting under the guise of checking in. But it's obvious she's assessing how Takina is adapting. Her cold demeanor and sharp words cut deep. She questions Takina's vacation at Cafe Lycoris and openly disrespects Chisato's methods. To her, non-lethal tactics and cafe work are disgraceful for real Lycoris agents. Chisato, naturally unfazed, plays hostess with her usual cheer, but Takina is visibly torn. She's caught between two worlds: the rigid structure of DA and the unorthodox warmth of Cafe Lycoris. The pressure to go back is heavier now, especially as Fuki hints that a path back into DA may reopen if Takina shows she's still serious. That evening, Takina and Chisato patrol the city, a routine watch that should be peaceful. But their conversation turns real. Chisato asks Takina bluntly, "If they take you back tomorrow, will you leave?" Takina doesn't answer right away. Their patrol is interrupted when they spot a mugging in progress, an unusual crime for such a high-security area. Chisato engages first, but something feels wrong. The mugging is a setup. The attacker is wired with explosives, and the real target seems to be testing Lycoris response time. Chisato and Takina defuse the situation, but the encounter sends a message. Someone is deliberately baiting the Lycoris system. Back at the cafe, the team pieces together clues. Kurumi discovers chatter on a private forum. Someone is collecting data on Lycoris patrol routes and response delays. This isn't random. A new enemy is probing their weaknesses, likely preparing for something bigger. The chapter ends with Chisato giving Takina space, sensing her inner conflict. She tells her it's okay to want to go back, but just make sure it's where you really belong, not where people expect you to be. As Chisato walks away, Takina looks at her DA-issued badge tucked away in her drawer and closes it. She's not ready to decide just yet, but she's starting to realize that home might not be a place. It might be people. Want me to continue with Chapter 8? The next part, Lycoris Recoil, Friends Are Thieves of Time, Chapter 8 Summary, presented by Everything in One. Chapter 8 dives deeper into the cracks forming beneath Tokyo's polished surface. A strange unease lingers in the air. Low-level crimes are increasing, surveillance networks are being quietly tampered with, and DA's presence seems a step behind. At Cafe Lycoris, the team begins to sense the pattern. The chapter starts with Chisato and Takina responding to a call from one of their regulars, an elderly man whose granddaughter has gone missing. Initially dismissed as a runaway case, Takina's gut tells her something's off. Chisato agrees and insists they investigate personally. Their search leads them into a forgotten corner of the city, a decaying district beneath the train lines where cameras are scarce and police rarely patrol. It's here they uncover traces of an underground recruitment ring targeting teens via anonymous online platforms. The goal? Build a private militia of rogue agents. Kurumi hacks into the forum where the granddaughter was last active. The chats are encrypted, but what they reveal is chilling. References to a new order, mentions of Lycoris protocols, and discussions of counterintelligence strategies. Whoever is running this ring knows how DA works. Intimately. Takina and Chisato go undercover as two vulnerable recruits. This sequence shows how far Takina has come, adapting to Chisato's style, even mimicking her carefree tone to fit the part. But when things go sideways and the recruiter demands a demonstration of loyalty by committing violence, the girls reveal their true selves. What follows is a sleek, close-quarters takedown that balances Takina's efficiency and Chisato's disarming finesse. They retrieve the missing girl and some critical data, but the recruiter escapes, leaving behind a chilling message. The system that protects this city is already broken. You're just the last one standing. Back at Cafe Lycoris, the mood is somber. Chisato admits to knowing this wouldn't last forever. The peace they've worked for is starting to unravel, and their enemies are no longer operating in the shadows. They're coming out into the open. Takina, sitting across from her with a cup of tea, says softly, "Then we don't hide either." The chapter closes with a quiet moment. The cafe lit by warm light, customers laughing inside, while outside, two shadows watch from across the street. They're being hunted now, but they're ready. Let me know when you're ready for Chapter 9. Friends Are Thieves of Time, Chapter 9 Summary. Presented by Everything in One. Chapter 9 marks a turning point in the story, one where secrets begin to surface and trust is put to the test. It opens with a scene that contrasts sharply with the chapter's intensity. Chisato and Takina working side by side in the cafe, laughing with customers and pouring coffee like everything's normal. But beneath the smiles, the air is heavy. Following the discovery of the rogue recruitment ring, Kurumi continues digging into the encrypted data retrieved from the last mission. What she finds is staggering. A list of locations, agents' names, and coded schedules linked to DA's operations. Someone is leaking intel from the inside. The cafe becomes a temporary command center. Whiteboards go up. Maps are pinned. The Lycoris team is no longer just a cafe crew. They're investigators, strategists, protectors, and they're under surveillance themselves. Chisato is targeted first. While walking home alone after a delivery, she notices she's being followed, not by an amateur, but by someone trained. Her instincts kick in. She leads the tale into an alley, but instead of confrontation, she sends a message. Tell whoever sent you, this cafe doesn't serve traitors. Her words are calm, but her eyes are fire. Meanwhile, Takina is contacted by an old handler from DA. The message? A veiled warning. Walk away before the lines blur. It rattles her. For the first time since arriving at Lycoris, Takina questions if her past will always try to reclaim her. Is she ready to defy everything she was taught? Kurumi drops the next bombshell. The data shows a planned attack on a DA convoy scheduled in 3 days. The catch? DA isn't even aware of it yet. If the information is real, it means the mole is still active, feeding their enemies every move. Chisato insists they act. She and Takina go rogue, again. They intercept the convoy in secret, posing as security reinforcement. When the attack hits, it's swift and brutal. Mercenaries using tactics only DA-trained operatives would know. Chisato's acrobatics and Takina's precision create a stunning action sequence that ends with the convoy secured and the enemy forced to retreat. But the aftermath brings no comfort. They've confirmed it. Someone from inside DA is orchestrating this chaos. The enemy knows their patterns, their rules, even their ethics. This is more than just rebellion. It's a calculated dismantling of the old order. Back at Lycoris, the team regroups. Kurumi, visibly shaken, says, "If this keeps up, DA won't survive, and neither will we." The chapter ends with Chisato standing by the cafe window, watching the city lights blink in the distance. She turns to Takina and says, "Then we stop waiting for things to break. We start fixing what we can, our way." Takina nods. Their fight is just beginning. Let me know when you're ready for Chapter 10. The tension's rising. Lycoris Recoil, Friends Are Thieves of Time, Chapter 10 Summary, presented by Everything in One. Chapter 10 takes everything to the next level. The calm before the storm is over. It opens with the aftermath of the successful interception of the DA convoy, though the victory feels hollow. Chisato and Takina know they're not just fighting rogue agents. They're up against an organized force capable of predicting their every move. The chapter begins with a brief flashback, a window into Takina's past. As a young cadet, she was trained to follow orders without question, to suppress her emotions, and to never waver. But in a quiet moment of reflection, she realizes how much her time at Cafe Lycoris has changed her. She's learning that there's more to life than just duty and obedience. The shift is subtle but undeniable. At the cafe, Chisato and Takina sit with Kurumi, poring over intel. The mole in DA is more than just a rogue agent. It's clear now that someone high up is orchestrating this entire operation. The deeper they dig, the more complex the conspiracy becomes. Whoever this person is, they're using every trick in the book, from inside knowledge to manipulating lower-ranking agents like Takina's old colleague, Fuki. But the bombshell drops when Kurumi decodes a message hidden in the data, a date and location. It's an invitation, a meeting set by the enemy, likely to discuss their final move. The Lycoris team knows this is their only shot to expose the mole and stop whatever plan is in motion. Chisato is resolute. They'll go to the meeting. But they won't show up as mere agents. They'll go as themselves. Chisato and Takina, the ones who aren't afraid to face the darkness head-on. They're not following orders anymore. They're making their own. The night of the meeting arrives, and they prepare. But Takina's mind races, memories of her former life flashing through her mind. She knows this could be dangerous, but she also knows something has changed within her. She's not just doing this for DA anymore. She's doing this for herself, for her friends, and for the future they're trying to build together. The meeting takes place in an abandoned underground facility, far from the city's prying eyes. When they enter, they're greeted not by enemies, but by a familiar face. Fuki. She's been playing both sides all along, working with the rogue faction to destroy DA from within. The confrontation is intense. Fuki mocks Takina's naivety, telling her that the DA she once knew is already broken and outdated. She offers Takina a chance to join her, to leave behind the ideals of the Lycoris and embrace a new world order. But Takina, hardened by everything she's learned at the cafe, refuses. Chisato stands beside her, offering only this: a world built on lies isn't worth saving, and we're not going to let you tear apart the one that's left. In a dramatic showdown, Chisato and Takina fight back-to-back, pushing Fuki and her mercenaries to their limits. It's a test of their growth, not just as Lycoris agents, but as individuals who've learned to trust each other, to fight together, and to fight for what's right. The fight ends in a standoff. Fuki escapes, but not before revealing a chilling truth. The conspiracy is deeper than they thought. The mole isn't just one person, it's a network, and it reaches to the very top of DA. The chapter closes with Chisato and Takina standing in the wreckage of the underground facility, their resolve stronger than ever. They've exposed the mole, but the real battle is just beginning. As the lights flicker out above them, Takina turns to Chisato. We'll stop them. Together. Chisato smiles. That's all we've ever needed to do. Ready for chapter